journey of 1,000 miles begins with a step. Years back, this step was taken by a man who journeyed 10 years of evangelism and voyaged 10 years into farming in order to produce enough food for his people. He became a pace setter, breaking the glass ceiling for the production of locally manufactured car right here in Ghana, our motherland. Today, we are inching towards that 100th mile. That is why we are all seated here to showcase and tell the world the success story of Okunyini, Abedum, Ghana, and Africa. Africa and Sonoma, Emeritus Dr. Professor Engineer Kristo Asafo, and his visionary, well-cultured, well-abreast on top of his work. And kamihu ye die, and ka onimdini a wakogye ntete efa wiemushen ho de. Eye den ene se woka se, there be ma me ne me papa nya adwuma. Yes, he believed in the vision and the mission of his father. That is why he has taken the mantle upon himself, together with his father, to flag the national flag on top of the world. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm talking about this intelligent, handsome young man, Kristo Asafo Kantanka Jr. Akofina the First. Ladies and gentlemen, Ndo, Entre, Minaeko, Memawobibiaha. Good afternoon. I welcome you all to the 40th Kristo Asafo Tech Exhibition 2020. We are bringing to you live from Great Asas, Awoshi. And you can watch us live on Kantanka Television and all our social media platforms across board. And you can hashtag us, hashtag Kristo Kantanka Tech at 40. My name is Abina Chei Boache, and I'm going to be your MC.
Sabi, ehu na etuntum, ni adwene, enye tuntum.
Hello. Mobio wahabia akwaba edeba Kristo Asafo Tech Exhibition in fie eduanai edia etoso. Ene nyama bebre na yebeda na di ewa ha. Ene yebehwe ye nuso ade. Ene krabehwe. Ene nyama ebekoso wa ha no sebio dachi emma ensemo yebeka ede a kire omo. Se okropon bi ba wiase obebo obra obeti ebibifo ani obekire yen se sebio ye hu na yetuntum na yadwene enye tuntum ene dai nyema yebele na di no edoso ene theme for program no eyemienu baako then and now ye hwe emra adwumadie sha ase afi mfie aduanan achi eba nyoma ye bebre no ya hide ye de hye ase ene bebia ababedru ene ye behu babia sebio kantanka infididuman bebre oye abode mu nyansape e hye ase edi free ye be hye ase edi free eye verek machines no sebio mi amegina hai eye Kristo Asafo kantanka mi amemame ye fe no abena vera ono ni din ena ye verek ene ade edikan a eja ede to ne machines ne so ene ye be hwe all electrical equipment sawaha yebehwe efano electronics yebehwe electricals Yɛbɛhwɛ engineering, yɛbɛhwɛ carpentry, yɛbɛhwɛ how far the journey has been for the past 40 years of an astonishing and an outstanding gentleman, Apostle Emeritus Engineer Kristo Asafo Kantanka. Emu bibia wa ha bia abonsem kese e de ma Apostle Dr. Emeritus Engineer Kristo Asafo Kantanka. Metua eye ne adwumadi esui mechia obibia owa ha eye berima kumawu hene ewa ha yehwe eye emra hyebadwamu nso a nipa bebre wa ha ya ye honorable Agric Asafo enso wa ha empanyimfo a omufri eye asrafo mu eye esojafo empanyimfo bebre Professor Ntwidanso, I can see you. Mehun ba bebre wa ha asori ni mu all council heads nso ewa ha, pastors any obibia wa ha bia mefiefo mpapa minuanom wo mo ha nyina mobibia akwaba eba ene adwumadie ene yebeda eye afidie ehyen foforo edi yebede de yeda na di kane no so ebegisidwa ewa ha ade bia kane ye bia no yaye ene foforo ene yebeda de nti a yeba ha edi. Most of the time see ebehia ewa ha ne ye programs are the media asked questions like, I didn't know ye car, a plane say, I didn't know ye say, I didn't know ye say. Today, we'll answer all those questions. Every single question. Ye wo botaye entia ye adebia ye deba ene dwumadie ya se ye be checheni na emu. All questions are going to be answered today. So bear with me. Let's go on this beautiful journey. We have a lot of things to, and Ghana Lamborghini Krasebio Yayebi. So the media has a lot of things to talk about tomorrow. The reason why I tell you Sakano, why automobile is venturing into certain models, why the electrical parts of Kantanka hasn't been commercialized yet. Yebekani na asemoha. Internet, midobi biyo baye ase. Me free aye stage sui. Me free aye the general manager of Kantanka Automobile by the name Mr. Francis Kojo Kujoji. No aba chere de enti ene omodi ehyen bebre abesi ha butaya etai ehyen no echi omo prices amanfo say omonema boarding amanfo say omonema na aye say ene obepapa ni nemu apensempensemu yebedi nkomo enadwumade no, it is going to be as interactive as the word is. Thank you all. My name is Kristo Asafo Jr. I'm the CEO of the Kantanka Group and the leader of Kristo Asafo Mission of Ghana. Thank you.
I'm very glad and I'm very honored to be given this opportunity to talk about and give a presentation on the evolution of Kantanka Automobile. In 1991, Apostle started with the actual dream for which he came to this earth. He started making automobile parts in 1991, making components in-house to form complete built units. And for him to realize this dream, he came out with a foundry where local parts are being made in combination with imported parts to form complete built units. So in 1996, he came out with the first sedan car. And this car was manufactured with 75% of the components manufactured in-house. Then he went further in 2006 to manufacture the first SUV, which he named Kantanka Onantifo. A year later, he came out with a stretch limousine, and then further went into the manufacturing of another Kantanka Onantifo in 1999. In 2012, we started the construction of the Kantanka multi-purpose assembly plant. The construction of the plant continued for 2 years. And in 2014, we finished the first phase of the construction of the automobile plant. In the same year, 2014, we produced 5 SUVs and 5 pickups. Then, in 2015, November to be precise, the automobile assembly plant was commissioned. And the same year, and in the same month, November 2015, 3 models, Kantanka Onanti4, Kantanka Omama, and Kantanka K71, were launched at the Accra International Conference Center. This has given way for Kantanka Automobile to start mass production. We are the first in Ghana to export locally assembled cars outside of this country to other countries in Africa. We have today come out with an EV, which was an improvement on the prototype that we've made 10 years ago. The Kantanka EV, the Kantanka, and this is the first prototype that we've made 10 years ago. And there have been several improvements on this particular model. Today, we have a Kantanka EV, which is Kantanka Amwenima, and can run a maximum speed of 50 kilometers. We've realized that the 50 kilometer speed is within intra-city car. And it is advisable, we are advising that that car should be used intra-city and then on-campus vehicle. The Kantanka EV that we have today has another model which has a combustible engine of 0.8 liter capacity. So, ladies and gentlemen, today we'll be unveiling this model.
Yenina yenim se yedidi. Yenumunro. Na sɛ wobɛdidi anom nnuro atena ase ɛwɔ ahoɔden mu a, na nam okunyini teteyɛ ɛne ne nimdeɛ mu ɛne ne nhyehyɛeɛ pa a wɔde ama ne mma a wɔdi wɔn akyi. Enti wɔn nso ayɛ abɔdeɛ mu nhyehyɛmu. Enti wɔn ahu nneɛma pa a ɛrekɔ soɔ. Enti wɔba abɛkyerɛkyerɛ yɛn ɛwɔ nnuane ɛne nnuro fa mu. Ladies and gentlemen, with a round of applause, let's welcome Dr. Asafo.
Hello, good afternoon, everyone. Professor Emeritus, Engineer, Dr. Kristo Asafo, and Ohene Kristo Asafo Akofina, ladies and gentlemen, and all protocols duly observed. My name is Dr. Ohene Kristo Asafo, and I happen to be part of the lead research at Apostle Asafo Suaye at Gomwa Impota. We at the Department of Plant Medicine believe in holistic medicine, i.e., we believe in conventional medicine and orthodox or herbal medicine. We think this and that works a long way to keep us healthy. So anytime someone comes down with an emergency, you need to go in with orthodox medicine to manage the acute process. However, longevity lies in the bosom of organic medicine. Longevity lies in the bosom of plant medicine. We were made from the soil. As such, all nutrients we need to grow our cells, our tissues, comes in from the soil. And we need the herbs to help keep us strong at all times. Health, according to the WHO, is a complete state of physical, mental, and social well-being, and not merely the absence of disease or infirmity. However, you cannot say you are healthy unless you eat well, you drink well, and you breathe in good quality air from nature. The pathogenesis, or the way disease processes come about, is an area we at Kantanka think needs more research to help us understand the science and medicine behind how A or B happens, and how we can, through organic medicine and plant medicine, come out with unique formulations that will sync with our biosystem. According to the WHO, 7 out of 10 people, that's 70% of African population, accesses traditional medicine as their first point of call when they are not well before they get to various hospitals. This deepens the fact that ancient medicine has a role to play in our time. At Apostle Asafo Suaye, these are our various departments. Pharmacology and toxicology department, where we deal with drug safety and toxicity. We also have phytochemistry, where we identify the various bioactive substances and how they react with our body system. We have plant development department for consistent production of herbs and plant raw materials for production and research, microbiology for microbial analysis, pharmaceutics for production, animal experimentation for animal research, and herbal pharmaceutics, plus the Kantanka Herbal Teaching Hospital, and disease-specific projects, i.e. for non-communicable diseases, because that is what is taking all of us. Quite a number of people are dying from hypertension, diabetes, cancer, and we keep asking questions as to why, as it stands now, reversal of this is difficult. There's a rise in a double burden of disease conditions in Africa. We are battling both communicable disease conditions and non-communicable disease conditions. We have tuberculosis, malaria, hepatitis, HIV, just to mention a few of the communicable ones. We know that those in the rural centers live long because they have not deviated from nature. And the more you deviate from nature, you create avenue for complex ill health, which is very difficult to manage. Going back to our roots, it's a non-negotiable aspect of our life. We know from statistics, as of 2019, life expectancy in Ghana was 64.17 and 63.91. And from world statistics, we have 72.4746 and 72.63. Someone might say, wow, 72 is quite a long time to actually live on earth. It's never so. The potential God gave man was to live beyond 70. And rural folks are living to 110, 120. What is happening? Ischemic heart diseases, dietary. We are not eating more of the organic stuff. Stroke, non-communicable condition, dietary. So there's a common factor linking the causes of mortality or death, as you can see from 2000 to 2015. There's a rise in deaths from heart-related condition, which happens because of what we eat. In as much as there's a complex interplay for the causes of all these conditions, diet or lifestyle modification underlines it all. Respiratory conditions, as of this morning, was the leading cause of death in Ghana, i.e., the pneumonias, the influenzas are killing us. Part of the communicable conditions. Chronic obstructive diseases. We have our good old bronchitis. All these chest infections are still hitting us hard. And if you watch top 10 causes of death in 2020, you would realize that all these things I've been mentioning, from the heart conditions to kidney to diabetes, hypertension, brain-related Alzheimer's disease, all these conditions are killing us. And they all, in general, has a very big link with what we eat. It's been postulated that diabetes-related conditions will double come 2030. And this is not a mistake. So far as we are eating junk food, we are not eating well, we're eating GMO, that is going to happen. Kantanka is here to take us out of this mirage where you have injection of an inorganic substrate into an organic body. This causes a GMO organic mismatch. And that is what we at Kantanka postulate as the basis of several disease conditions. We came from the soil, and as such, if you study the human structure, you would realize we contain over 600 million cells, which are fed with nutrients from the soil because we came in from the soil. We have the brain with its parts, the central nervous system. We have the skeletons. We have all organ systems feeding in on that. If you take a carefully look at this, there's a video showing how disease processes happen. Organic food is something we can't go home without getting, because salvesterol has been identified that God in his own wisdom placed in cancer-preventing agents which are natural in food substances we eat. And these are very high in only organic food substances. So cancers were very low back in the days, but they are so high now because we are deviating from nature. Let's go back to Mother Nature. Let's go back to ancient medicine, where you have access to food rich with salvesterol, the only anti-cancer agent that grows more and only in organic food. This is what happens. We're taking in more of genetically modified food, i.e. this junk food contain protein type units which are not normal because the source of these stuff were all not good. Kantanka is working around the clock on medicines for chronic kidney disease. As it stands now, we've showed several successes in viral infections. We also have several successes in chronic kidney disease stage 3B, and my granny happens to be a beneficiary of this particular product. So we are very happy to tell the world that Kantanka is doing a lot as far as organic medicine, herbal medicine, and plant medicine is concerned. WHO has a target from 2014 to 2023, and they are asking, their vision is to ensure, one, that you build the knowledge base of traditional medicine in Africa, or as far as traditional medicine is concerned. Kantanka is really siding with these goals, working assiduously, like training a medical doctor like myself to understand how things work with plant medicine. And I have colleagues who are equally medical practitioners. The second objective has got to do with quality assurance, how we regulate our practices. Orthodox medicine is so far advanced to the extent that they're able to show when and what to do at every point in time. With good research, with the capacity built by Kantanka, we will get there. Again, the third objective they are looking at is what Kristo Asafo Akofina has already established. He's establishing a very genuine, neat, first of its kind, Kantanka Herbal Teaching Hospital, where you have integration of orthodox medicine and herbal medicine to help us understand and know that certain disease conditions are acute. So we treat them the orthodox way. However, longevity and battling communicable conditions depends on plant medicine and organic food. I'm happy to tell you that quite a number of breakthroughs has happened in Kantanka, from the viral conditions to immune modulators, which helps in management of hepatitis. There have been quite a number of cases of hepatitis which has been handled with evidence-based plant medicine, and we have all data to back it. We have quite a number of our exhibits here. Distillates of unique kind, good for prostate health, good for hepatitis, good as an immune booster. All these are to help you know that with the herbs, you can never go wrong. There is always a problem when you deviate from nature. There's cost and risk to every program of action, but there's far less to the cost and risk of comfortable inaction. I'm done.
Nipa, indeed, obetimi asesa ya dwene. Say, ye tuntumu de, nanso eba ya dwene de a, enye tuntum. Ye betimi aye nneema pa. Enu nti na sesie ya ye nyine te ha say, he is a living example to Africa and to the world. Wose wone de na ni so de ho ne say, obepeja ebibrem. Enye Ghana nko a, Africa nyina. Na so obroni ni tini krom a, we hu say, indeed, Africa, Yawadepa. Thank you so much, Akokraba Saiki, for such a wonderful performance. Ladies and gentlemen, our chairperson for this occasion, I made a mistake in pronouncing his name. He is Professor John Japon. Thank you so much, Professor, and I'm so sorry about that. We are going to have a panel discussion, and I have Professor Kristo Asafo from University of Ghana, Legon. Prof, please, if you're here, with all due respect, can you please join me upstage? Thank you. Please, let's give it up to Professor. And Professor Amevi Akapovi, Pro Vice Chancellor, Accra Technical University. Please, let's give it up for Professor. Thank you so much. I'm so glad and happy that we have in our midst our Honorable Kristo Asafo. This topic right here means a lot to me. It's so dear to me. So I believe he's going to carry out the information to our President, His Excellency, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, so that they can inculcate or practice or take notice of what our professors are going to talk about, so that Ghana becomes a better place for all of us. Thank you so much, Professor. Abusuafo yegusua etwen Professor Akpovi amanaba beje ye na yatwetwe nkomo said ye group CEO eka ye no wo se enne eye nkomodie ye nyina ye ba betwetwe nkomo ye ba be ye ho aduro ye ba be pe enema a eha ye ni apɛ ho pomasibre empempi aya ye ka eba Ghana ha se ya ye wo enimdifo yie pa wa ha se omu nimdie se ye kasa amanonefo emfa bibi emra ne bi omo research about it enche kra no omo di se adwuma no mi bisa me ho se edie ba de e na Ghana ha se ye mpanyimfo ewo mu ye wo ye parliament ye wo ye president ye wo various leaders edie ba de pa na elaki anti ema ye ne ankasa no yentimi empower wo mu yankasa yentimi fa tu no enhye wo mo nsem no mo ndi se adwuma no emma yen na emboa ye ne yankasa ye krom ha sei anase emboa empumtuo wo ye krom ha sei enti eno na na ye hwe bridging academia and industry gap, the way to promote an integrated socio-economic and technology development in Ghana. That is what we are looking at, and that is our topic. Like I said earlier, I have Professor Asafo from University of Ghana, Legon. Prof, you're welcome. And Professor Amevi Akapovi, I hope I'm correct. Okay. Akapovi, okay, thank you. Pro Vice Chancellor, Accra Technical University. I welcome you all. Before we start, today is the 40th anniversary of Kantanka Tech Exhibition 2020. You've witnessed the process. What is your take? What would you say before we even start our discussion? Okay, let me start with you, Prof.
Okay, thank you. So I am a natural products chemist.
Okay.
So I'm passionate about herbal medicine, production of herbal medicine. So I'm just excited about all the technological advancement that I've just seen.
Okay.
And I want to see how I can collaborate with the Suapon to move the process forward.
Let me clap in advance. Thank you so much. And I just love with the way you do your pronunciations. To come to you, Prof.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Okay.
I think so far it has been very impressive. Coming from a TVET institution like Accra Technical University, I've seen quite a number of TVET scale being exhibited here, showing the vehicle that have been put actually, that have been made available to the public. I think it's a very great step for our nation. I want to associate myself to you, see how we can carry forward the agenda of TVET in the Technical University and then in the nation Ghana as a whole. Thank you very much.
Thank you. So back to our topic today. We'll be looking at bridging academia and industry gap, the way to promote an integrated socio-economic and technology development in Ghana. We go to school, study various courses, and most subjects is leading the 21st century civilization and technology advancement. And even in our social science and art, we teach subjects like archaeology. Archaeology, yet our graduates are not excavating numerous historical areas needed to improve history and tell our own historical, or tell our own story, so far as scientific is concerned. Now the question is, how do we improve upon our curriculum for the primary, high school, tertiary, and our graduates get to know the application of what they are being taught? How do we go about it?
Okay, thank you. I believe that in order to improve anything at all, you need to take a critical look at it to get a better understanding of what works and what doesn't.
Okay.
And then take the necessary steps to address that.
Okay.
So regarding our curriculum, if our desire is to produce graduates who are more practically oriented, then we should be more intentional about intimately infusing active learning, experiential learning, and problem-based learning in our curriculum at all levels, right from preschool to tertiary.
Okay.
I know that in early childhood education, we have play-based learning programs. Now, these programs, as simple as they may seem, help the children develop investigative and exploratory skills at an early age. So they begin to ask questions about how and why things work in a certain way. And if we're able to nurture these skills, then we instill in them curiosity and a thirst to understand their environment.
Okay.
So these skills should be nurtured along the academic ladder. So by the time they run through SHS to university, they have some practical hands-on experience to go with the academic learning.
Okay. Okay, because of time,
Yes.
I will move to the next question so that when you are talking, you can chip in the previous question in the question I'm going to ask. We all know our government is doing very well when it comes to the TVET. and there are a lot of courses that they are studying. When we come to our senior high school, they are being taught of the same, courses. But when it comes to the practical aspect, the senior high school, because now we've distinct the TVET and the senior high school. So came to the government, don't you think that we need to involve TVET courses which are more practical in high school, courses?
Okay, thank you very much for the opportunity to answer this question. I think that there is quite a lot of credit that we need to give to a number of courses,
Okay.
which in actual fact do not seem to be directly related to TVET.
Okay.
For instance, let me take it slowly by making some few, instances. If you have not been taught about the law of Faraday's, you will not know how a generator works. Yet, you can be made to assemble a generator today and to generate electricity, but you don't know the principle behind it. And when you don't know the principle behind something, there is no way you can innovate and dream. It is based on the principle that you can do something that is better.
Okay.
That is one point. If you take, for instance, what is happening today, the proliferation of electronic devices, we have miniaturized, mobile phone and then apparatus, 7 different purposes. It's due to nanotechnology and then development in electronics and other areas, which when you tackle them directly, they do not have a practical dimension, but they tend to be the basis or the foundation on which now most of the applications are built. To me, the problem or the missing gap is rather the way these courses are taught. They have relevance, but if you fall on a lecturer who teaches them the traditional way, that's what we used to say. He comes and then he opens his PowerPoint and reads a number of things for you.
You study the books.
And he never tells you that even this transistor that he has taught you, this is how it looks like physically. And this is how you can connect it to do something. And then all you have heard is that transistor is a switch, is an electronic device, it can do this, it can do that. And then you are going about.
Okay.
You see, you can tell people a lot of things. Very little remains. But when you put the person to do the thing himself, then there is a solid knowledge that takes place, a solid learning that takes place. So I want to end this by saying that there are 3 things we need to be looking at in the future if you want to improve education and then make it a bit more related to our socioeconomic development. One of them should be, first of all, let's look at who is teaching. Is the person up to the task? In some countries, people can just, you can have the certificate, even if you look at Ghana as an example, if you have a PhD, you are allowed to teach, for instance, in the technical university, but in other part of the world, you need to be trained how to teach, because the teaching methodology matters in the way you deliver to the student. That is one aspect. Another aspect, for instance, is the environment. You must have an enabling environment to get people to learn. That's the example that I started with. You can teach a lot of theoretical concepts, but as far as the person is not faced to this practical exposure, this industry exposure, then knowledge doesn't take place effectively. He ends up erring, and he still cannot do anything with the knowledge. So let's look at how we can improve that. And finally, the very strong point I like to make here is the curriculum we are even teaching. Are they still relevant? In this, our time, and I was very glad to read it on the notice, even if you turn your eye, you are seeing things like AI, machine learning, emotional intelligence, and so many things that have changed how work goes on today. However, we have curricula that are archaic, some of them more than 20 years, and still we have not done any change to them. And we are trying to put that knowledge into the student, expecting them to deliver, in the world of work, when they are meeting requirements of AI, machine learning, and co. I think we need to look at our curriculum as well. And when you put all these together, we can make a step forward. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Prof. Now let's look at our researchers. They mostly say we are contributing our quota to the development of our nation, and also to, they are supposed to be problem-solving, researchers. But when we come to Ghana, it looks as if they are handicapped. Is it that the government is not investing enough resources in the researchers for them to produce exactly what we need in Ghana? Prof.
Of course, we need more support in that area. Because if I consider the research that I have done, much of the funding or support is from external sources. So if you have an external donor, then of course, even how you go about the research, the length of time, the thematic area, will all be dictated by the donor. And it may not be relevant to your setting. But if we are supporting our research, then we can do what benefits us. So more support financially, infrastructure-wise, is the key.
Okay, so let's take a Kantanka Automobile, for instance. Assuming they come to you as an individual or a researcher to maybe research on how the consumers want their specs and all that.
Yes.
Can the government collaborate with Kantanka Automobile to fund the researchers to produce what they want, or it becomes solely on Kantanka Automobile?
Well, so if I receive such a request, then the first question would be, where is the funding going to come from? If the private investor can support the research, why not? But we could also write to the relevant ministry to ask for support and hope that we would get it.
Okay, let me come to Prof. Kapavi. Okay, when you receive donors from Western world to research on a particular things, do they become relevant to us?
Okay, thank you very much for the opportunity. Sometimes we do not just receive, fundings from external donors. We apply to them for them, and for that matter, we apply for what is relevant to us. However, what I would like to emphasize on is that there is quite a number of opportunities in Ghana where you can get some research grants. However, there is another problem which is hidden behind that, and I would like to just clarify that a little bit. You see, you have GEF fund, you have government policies giving some research fund to lecturers in the universities, and then you have some opportunity we call VET, Skill Development Fund, that you can apply and get some grant, like we did this year, and run some field training and skill development programs. But there is a problem. The problem has to do with the skill or the confidence level of the researcher sometimes. If a researcher has not been exposed to a car assembly system, for instance, and then you should give him a grant to assemble a car, yes, he will get the money, but he will fail you. Because he doesn't know how to do that. So where is the exposure? Who trained who? How do you expect something from somebody when you have not put in some energy to build him in the first place? So I just want to say that there is quite a number of problems in the research world. And that is the reason why a lot of research end up being very abstractive. Just testing hypotheses, checking whether this and this are. But in actual fact, if you want to solve problem, and I'm bringing you, closely to the concept of applied research, which is the mandate of technical university. Applied research is the type of research that brings solution, the one that solves a fundamental problem to societal life. So if you are to engage in applied research, you need to have knowledge and skill. You need to have exposure to the industry. Sometimes it is not bad, for instance, to have some people from the academia being trained in some of the engineering things happening here, because the exposure isn't there.
Okay.
How many of the technical universities are having, for instance, an assembly plant or things of this nature? The exposure is not there. So sometimes the opportunity must be created for people to be more exposed and learn more.
So who is qualified to be a researcher?
Oh, nice question. Everybody is qualified to be a researcher. If I eliminate anyone here, they will beat me by the time I'm getting down. But I think that research, in another term, is the core mandate of lecturers. Apart from the fact that anybody can engage into research, research follows a scientific approach. And for lecturers, is one of their mandates. Apart from teaching in the classroom, they have to conduct research and at the same time do extension service. So it's an obligation for them, and it's the basis upon which they are promoted. So
as for lecturers, there is no two ways. They must do research.
Okay.
And we need them to do apply research to bring solutions to what is happening in Ghana. In fact, if you give me 1 minute, let me give you an instance. If you look at Gratis, for instance, Gratis Foundation is looking at, promoting small-scale, industrialization. So they keep coming with machineries and equipment that solve fundamental problems. Apply research. So these are the type of research we should engage in the more. But
I'm asking this question because it looks like our researchers are mainly focused on the paperwork. We did this, we sent theses here, we went to the market, we asked them questions and all that. But I've never come across a researcher who has been to, let's say, Apostle Asafo Suaye, to practice whatever he or she has learned. And it's coming out there. Meanwhile, the person has stated in the book that, oh, when you add this and that, you're going to get this. Meaning, he is solving a problem. But how do we practice it? Is it that we don't have enough infrastructure or we don't have laboratories?
So there's limited infrastructure for research. Okay. But we need to encourage more academia-industry collaboration so that we can have opportunity to train better in some of these areas.
Okay.
So, for example, if the Apostle Kristo Asafo has the relevant infrastructure for my research, then what can I do to collaborate so that even if it's not for me, the students that I'm training can have access to the relevant infrastructure or equipment, the hands-on, the exposure that he spoke about, to become a better scientist.
Okay.
To apply the knowledge that he or she has acquired.
So now, who is mainly responsible for putting up such infrastructures? Okay.
Yeah, I think you are right. The
I'm
person
pushing too much. I'm sorry, but we need to know.
Yes, it has to do with policy, and it comes from the institutions themselves. For instance, we are promoting TVET. That is something that is very dear to us. So I can tell you, we have taken steps and we have visited your center already. We have signed an MOU and we are in collaboration. We have students who have undertaken some attachment with you, and we have planned to have lecturers having some learning experience. You see, it is something we must cherish, otherwise we'll fail in our mandate. We have to promote this industry-academia relationship, and then also promote research, that is the applied type. This even brings me to some baby ideas I have about what is called Scale Training and Applied Research Center. You look at the initial, Scale Training, Applied Research, STAR centers. We need to build STAR centers in Ghana, where lecturers and researchers or whoever is interested can have the opportunity to go on and learn real skills and develop it into applied research that solve a problem to the nation. I'll leave it there for now.
I won't take you far because we have Emeritus Apostle Kristo Asafo here. Assuming we put up such a big laboratory infrastructure, and then he will be around to take the researchers through for them to practice or try their hands on whatever they've learned. Don't you think that would have been the best and then bring progress to our country?
Yeah, absolutely. So the University of Ghana has an Institute of Applied Technology.
And do we have the infrastructure?
So what they do is to link academia to the relevant industry.
Okay.
Either to pilot an idea that maybe we have or industry has, to see how it works and to improve it. Okay. So we should have more of that to identify the relevant places, to establish the right collaborations with, to impart the skills to our students.
Okay. So are you here to go to Gomoa Mpota and collaborate with?
I'm yet to. I tried. So one of the, we held a fair, the IASD I spoke about, held a fair and invited the Apostle Kristo Asafo team. So that is when I got to hear about them, and I've made attempts to establish collaboration, but I have not been successful yet. But I intend to pursue it after seeing what happens with the Phytochemistry Center.
Okay. Yes. Since you're into the research institution, let me ask, before government implemented this planting for food and agriculture, was there a comprehensive research on this before they started executing it?
Well, I'm not in Agric, so I can't tell. But my colleagues in the Agric School of Agriculture, you know, they have their experimental farm where they practice some of these things. So I believe so, but how comprehensive it is, I cannot tell.
Okay, so let's take Legon for instance. Do you get, you know, work from the government since there is a body instead of, you know, getting fund from outside, or the government do not, you know, contract the researchers at all?
Oh, they do.
They do.
They do.
How often?
So, well, in my area of research, I would say that this is minimal.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
But in other sectors, they do.
I don't want to push you too much. I wish, you know, we have bodies from the government to be here so
Yeah,
I
but-
can,
yeah.
you know, bombard them with a lot of questions.
but I
but
believe
you are
they-
limited with,
Yes,
you
but
know,
they
giving
can do
out
more.
information. Okay, they can do more. Okay, let me take your final words for
Yes.
us to bring this discussion to an end.
I think we've said it already. It is part of our mandate to foster collaboration with industry and to build a team that actually look into applied research. Because our mandate as a TVET institution has to be carried forward. We have to be more present in bringing solutions that solve fundamental problems of life. Our students need to have skills,
And you
highly
added
employable
what you
skills.
expect the government to do to improve on everything you're doing.
Yes, I think the government is playing its part. We are doing our own too. Together we can make a better future. But I believe that the idea of skill training and applied research center, which are called STAR Center, is already one that is happening here. This is a center where you see excellence. Because coming up with what I've seen today is not common in Africa in the first place. And for that, we commend the effort. And we associate ourselves to make sure that next time when we mention this, you can mention perhaps that the light or something has been designed in collaboration with ATU.
Exactly.
So thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Okay, Prof.
Yes.
Final word.
So I would say that regarding human resource, I don't think we lack that. Look, when our students step outside to continue their training, they excel.
Okay.
So what is the difference? It is the infrastructure. So once we have that, we will excel and do things that are relevant to our setting.
So what are you telling our, you know, government?
They can do more.
You don't want to say much.
No, they can do more.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Professor Asafo, from University of Ghana, Legon, and Prof. Amevi Akapavi. I hope I'm correct. Akapavi, okay. Pro Vice Chancellor, Accra Technical University. Thank you so much. Me mpanyimfo nananom mejidi se yenyina yate nimdia ye mpanyimfo yi ede amaye. Ede ba de ene mpanyimfo ebetimi aye. Se de be ya ebema ye mpanyimfo nso so omo so yeyi womo se ohaw bi ekoso omo nya nhwehwemu yie emfa ho. Se Ghana ha se yakwakoye se nipa baakofo ena wagye enemadom nyina asi na beti. Yehu se ese ye mpanyimfo so etimi tu anamo, especially se mekase ye mpanyimfo a the government esan se womo na omo wo control over enema we se nyina so a se ye kan infrastructure so omo sisi enema kese bisa ye manom ye nuanom obi bia opese wokọ honom ekogi nimde ebetimi akọ enye nimde ne sesebi wafa buku no na wasua nwoma no na wo bibia egu utimo na mmom de ne se wobehu ade no se ye kase pane a wo de wonsa so pane mu kwan be so ne ye fa so ye pane ye di A B C D ene ye kabom ne ye sa okay mesua wo nwoma no maba me de sa A B C D na keka bom enya sa pane na mpa eno ene che se wo gi obi anasa wo solve obi how ene ne problem bi se ba ne sa ebeboa ma Ghana a better place for all of us to live. Into yes, information way it's going out there. We are pleading on our government to take note of all the things that they've listed and then put them into practice. Thank you very much. The program still continues. My name is Abina Chebuache.
Well, greetings, ladies and gentlemen. My name is PSCA Kristo Asafo, and I'm here on behalf of the lead designer for Akofena model luxurious sports vehicle, Kantanka, of course, in the person of Nyansaba Kwesi Safo Jr. I would like to welcome you all to the 40th edition of the Kristo Asafo Tech Exhibition, dubbed Positioning the Church as the Builder of the Nation and the Continent, Solving Societal Problems Through Religion, Science, and Technology. The Akofena luxurious sports vehicles are a new range of high-performance cars that the Kantanka Automobile Company is rolling out from 2020 and beyond. The success of the company in its research in the automotive sector gave birth to the design which we are so glad to share with you. The idea of the new model from our CEO began in 2017 when the first sports vehicle of what we are about to unveil today was outdoored. It was known as Odeneho, 3-tire vehicle designed for optimum performance with safety and entertainment at heart. The success of Odeneho paved the way for the new Akofena luxurious sports vehicles. Now, the name of the vehicle, Akofena, is surely one of a kind, and the design and technology used in building the vehicle makes it stand out from its predecessor, as you can see behind me. Akofena is an all-wheel drive AWD car that falls in range of a fresh concept of luxurious sports vehicles. The car is 1,358 millimeters in length with a comfortably wide front diameter. The sports vehicle is a high-performance car and as such is built with latest mechanical technologies in its braking system, such as tire pressure monitoring systems that will reduce lateral movement at high speed and when cornering. Inclusive in this braking technology, ladies and gentlemen, are the following: the anti-lock braking system, ABS, the brake assist system, BAS, the electronic brake force distribution, EBD, and the cornering brake control, CBC. The safety of the driver and the co-driver is assured as the Akofena is well equipped with the latest technology in supplemental restraint system, SRS. Most of us call that the airbag system. The car has seatbelt monitoring feature that reminds and warns the driver and co-driver about their safety, and as this technology is locked to the ignition system, which confirms that the seatbelts are in operation before ignition is even started. The exterior of this luxurious sports vehicle is designed to have a bleeding line that spans from its sides, from the front to its rear, to give it a stylish look and feel. Also, in addition to that, ladies and gentlemen, it enables it to hover in the wind on high-speed roads. The rear sides of the car is designed to have stylish vents as a result of the engine's rated power dissipation of heat when the vehicle is in its highest performing capacity. The vehicle is also equipped with the latest lighting system that has inbuilt LED, impressive technology, as you can see quite behind me there. This helps it to have high performance and adaptability to any natural lighting in any environment. The front grille is craftfully designed to get attention together with its 18 alloy rims that give it a glossy look. Akofena's door is designed with the latest electronic hydraulic system that makes it easy to toggle over in the air with very less effort. This makes it easy to bump in the vehicle and experience a comfortable drive. The Akofena concept of luxurious vehicles, of which Akofena is the first of its kind, let's note that, is well equipped with the latest 360 reality audio entertainment system. This gives you the best entertainment and pleasure as you cruise. The car also features a 5.8 GHz Wi-Fi network for all device connectivity and a Google-assisted Android GPS navigation system. This car comes with a V-shaped 6-cylinder Pro Charger engine that is built with a computer numerical control, that's CNC aluminum block with BME pistons grinding behind me, as you can see there. All this in the Akofena vehicle, another exclusive from the Kantanka Automobile Company Limited. With an engine capacity of 2,000 cc, ladies and gentlemen, Akofena's engine performance makes it one of the fastest as far as the concept of luxury vehicles is concerned, with rated power of 174 kW. Its 6-speed manual transmission system is designed to put you in control to get you the best optimum performance. We have made ignition optional to the choice of the user's preference, as the driver could opt for the use of either push to start or fingerprint in order to start the vehicle. Good news, don't you agree? Let's give Asafo a round of applause. And yet, to give the driver the best cruise so far as luxury is concerned, the car is equipped with 360 degrees panoramic cameras for both its front and rear view, and to make parking easy and safe. The car also has reverse radar with parking sensors. The interior of the vehicle is designed with the best leather in the industry for auto decor and seating that keeps you in comfort and relaxation mode when you are driving. Akofna is a car that you really need to have an experience with, ladies and gentlemen. Enjoy the technology and pleasure of cruising in a luxury sports vehicle produced by Ghana and Africa's best automotive research and manufacturing company, Kantanka Automobile. The company has already started building the concept of Akofna 2, and which will make the use of the latest electrical vehicle technology as a result of the company's policies to contribute to global reduction in combustible emissions and in the automotive industry, and also the introduction and development of electrical vehicles, EVs, as they are popularly known these days. So we will continue to update auto fans on all developments, and of course, after this, there's going to be a real-life video on what the car really looks like beyond this animation behind me. Thank you all for your attention, and do enjoy the rest of the program.
It started as a small community church which collapsed on 3 consecutive times. The fourth, its final rebirth, occurred on the 3rd of February 1971. Kristo Asafo was and is still a religious movement whose leader and followers denied their own desires, emotions and passion for the interest of society, feeding the poor when they themselves were hungry and providing for the needy when they needed it most. This, of course, was in fulfillment to the mission's selfless motto: service to humankind and nation is service to God. In 1989, during the Liberian War, many Liberians became refugees in Ghana. The first ship, known as Tano River, arrived in Ghana at the Temahaba with over 8,000 adults. The second, 11,000 adults, and the third, 5,000 adults. children not counted. Thus, over 24,000 adult Liberians and their children who almost outnumbered them. Apostle Asafo and his Kristo Asafo fed all refugees with breakfast, lunch and supper until government provided them with permanent shelter at Budumburam. This is how selfless this man and his followers were. During the PNDC revolution, on mission to spread the word of his God, in order not to put his life and that of his followers in danger, the founder had to inform soldiers about their intention to carry bags of cocoa as a contribution to nation building, which they did while spreading the word of God. His philosophy of religion, the belief in the corporality of God and the manifestation of God in man, that all men are the manifestations of God in an organic shell called flesh, and that every man can harness his God-given potential by accepting himself as the image of God, and for that matter, God can never be felt, be seen, be touched, and be experienced unless man decided to go on the journey to know thyself as God. Until then, may we as blacks, Africans, redeem ourselves from mental slavery and work toward building our country and continent. This must not happen until man feels for one another and show absolute bestowal or love to his fellow mankind. In this lies the power of giving and the love for humanity, the constant prayer to develop the Spirit of God within and without us. And so the mission was very known across the country for the marvelous works of charity and philanthropy. From donations to SOS children's homes, prison, hospitals, and the provision of scholarship to brilliant but needy children, both within and without the mission, providing for the physically challenged, etc. Giving to the poor was a key practice in the early years of the mission and even till date, which earned the founder the honorary doctorate degree of law for his tremendous contribution to fighting poverty among the marginalized in society. Notwithstanding, the power of God in him could override several scientific and physical forces, and of course, these phenomena could be described by Christian orthodoxy as miracles. Yet, Apostle Asafo teaches that these events that happen or exist beyond human or scientific perception are scientific, although they have not been subjected to scientific observation, that these phenomena may not be described as miracles if mankind, especially blacks, make the resolve to pursue science and make the journey to great discoveries. By the power of God upon him, the sick was healed, the cripples walked, the barren gave birth, the blind could see. In 1981 to 1991, the man of God revealed that for 10 years, none of his 10,000 followers would ever taste death, of which many who doubted attempted suicides, yet could not die. And the most important test of all great adepts, the ultimate manifestation of the true power of God, the dead was raised and is still living today. Despite all these, the man of God would keep telling his followers that working miracles is not his mission, that mankind should accept who they are, that God lives in us, that wisdom is not obsolete, that Africans can do better if we accept who we are and research practically to solve our own problems and improve livelihood. In the early 80s, Apostle Asafo would reveal his true mission to his followers, that he emanated to manifest the power of God, preach emancipation and redemption to the black African, that the African may know his true power as a manifestation of God, put his brain to use, not follow the matrix of his slave masters, and weave his own freedom. However, no adept of his kind ever traverses the earth or physical manifestation without trial. Trial is presumed to be a must for adepts of his kind to reach the ultimate spiritual acme, to prove to the world that their mission is mystery yet divine. Amidst the teaching of divine manifestation of God in man and himself, and the giving to the poor even when his followers needed it most, arose enemies within and without. Many were those who did not understand his teachings of God's manifestation in man and the philosophy of depriving oneself for the benefit of others. The trial drew near. A revolution evolved within the mission, amidst a nationwide revolution, a time where people were sentenced by firing squad. His own followers led the trial, and he was accused of several military hearings where he was harassed, maltreated, and molested. He was charged with several counts, including, but not limited to: 1. That his teaching described him as God, a manifestation of God. 2. That he had embezzled church funds, and several other charges. Upon a journey of 2 months' trial of ordeals and embarrassment, when at a point the military were ordered to end his life, his God stood by him, and he stood tall, acquitted of all charges. As if that was it all, he was again handed to the military and police, where he was picked at night, 2:30 a.m., shoved into the boot of a car, beaten and tortured on a charge of stealing, which later came out as false after days in a cell. All in the name of revolution. Yes, a revolution, because he was seen spiritually to be too powerful and one who could one day topple the military rule. Several criminal investigators were planted as moles by the revolution movement around him to find the source of his power, many of whom later became converts, and some even became pastors of the church upon finding out the divinity of the Great One, Apostle Asafo, as many call him. Since 1980, Apostle Asafo and his mission would have an annual agricultural exhibition where several farm produce would be displayed and distributed to various SOS children's homes, prisons, hospitals, the physically challenged, and individuals in need. The purpose of this was to inform and teach the African that we can grow what we eat of high quality standard, improve biodiversity and health by encouraging healthy organic agriculture. His fight against GMO started even before GMO appeared in public discussion of Africa in the 21st century. A decade later, in 1990, he revealed to his followers and the entire country that the one necessary move that can help emancipate Africans is for us to think in the line of science and technology. That the gap between the developed world and Africa is a technological gap. However, before this new mission, he had, since the year 1980, begun his research into the building and manufacturing of electronic and electrical gadgets, including, but not limited to, home theaters, televisions, electric motors, stabilizers, radio transmission console, etc., and musical instruments such as lead guitar, bass guitar, speakers, electric drums, just to mention a few. He would later in the late 90s discover a breakthrough in the use of palm kernel shell, seashells, and termite shells to manufacture a high heat resistive metal, which he would later use to build some parts of his first 4-stroke engine block in 1995. The annual agricultural exhibition then became an annual technological exhibition where he demonstrated that the black man is also capable as a form of transformational change of mindset to Africans. He then began to advocate for a change in the school curriculum from the usual theoretical way to a more practical oriented syllabus.
Technical university no akora no onim dada na momfam free wo mo ase obi a obi JHS no nkora nketo no mpo de odi fi wo mase a no mbeduru ha o madwunu mu ye enti onko SHS no SS no na se wonimu pa enti so de ni wura sa technical university mu a na enye dene we na mpese o man no boa me ma yetumi aye na o man no ensakra ye bem.
But again, no one would listen to him. He would insist that the dependence of the black man on a so-called superior race undermines the spirit of God that lives in us, and that our skin may be black, but our mind is not black. That the brain in the skull of other races are not different from that of the black man. that we cannot continue to be subservient to others while they siphon our resources, manipulate our cultural heritage and spiritual backbone, making us powerless and impoverished. On the science and technology mission, the first car engine he manufactured became the center of attraction for the 1996 Ghana Trade Fair. Following that, he manufactured his first car, a handmade saloon car, which began the Kantanka automobile dream in the year 1998. Several products have been exhibited or launched from his research center. These include a clapping television, which is switched on and changes dials and control volume by clap. The dreamer didn't rest. He and his team built block making machines, industrial heavy machines such as cranes, roofing tiles machines, and other range of vehicles. This was followed by a series of V6 engines, V8 engines, and several range of four-wheel vehicles, including his personal vehicles also named after his title, Odeneho. The automobile dream became bigger and the Kantanka brand expanded when in 2014 the company commercialized its first assembled vehicles. In 2009, his research team started his range of electric vehicles when the first prototype, named Odeneho, meaning one who is self-dependent or self-powered, came into view. Then came his range of armored personal vehicles and research into weaponry. Over the past years, his research into weaponry has focused on anti-missile technology, which is being built to render missiles and bombs non-harmful and not dangerous whenever launched into any space where the anti-missile radar may reach. However, over the past decade, his messages have been centered on health and, most importantly, on organic agriculture and the harmful effect of GMO and the agrochemicals on health, being the cause of most metabolic diseases and cancer in recent years. So, he embarked on research into organic biopesticides, weedicides, and fertilizers, which will be commercialized soon to replace the harmful agrochemicals on the market today. This, among others, has been the journey of Apostle Asafo and his mission over the past 50 years and the past 40 years of agricultural, science, and technology exhibition. While some may describe him as the greatest spirit to have traversed the African soil, others describe him as the Great One, a manifestation of the unseen one reality who we all personalize as God, and philosophy calls it that. This is the story of one man who earned the title of Magra, that is, Father Lord of all Sultans, of the Kotoko people of Cameroon, Chad, Nigeria, and all over Africa and the world, proving by all historical standards that he was the great spirit that once led the black race in the early days of Earth in Mesopotamia and again incarnated to lead a God-chosen nation to Africa in about 600 BC, who is the great African cat, the lion or leopard of Africa, Jamus. This is the journey of the star of Africa.
Sabre, CEO a owo nimdie yie, CEO a ade ne papa ye owo anidaso wo mu se ebe pagya Ghana edru bia amamamnanefo nyina. It will be an enviable thing. Wo mu nyina mpo omo tena entena menim se Sabre omo dwene ho se na sa kofare ba we mpo wo firi hefa enam nimdie ene esapa bia ne papa twa ho ma nti ono so enam so edibi edom ye nchirima. At this time, he's going to do a presentation. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Kristo Asafo Kantanka Akofina the First, our Group CEO of Kantanka Group of Companies. Thank you.
It's a very good question that I think we should ask all of ourselves today. I think we showed a few videos of a shendodwa and my mind, and my penia, I would draw more and my mind be brave so or more etnemu. I can thank automobile. I feel before I met myself so and me say me chia DCOP Tiwa and me say I know the Mukraba. I join Nikunu, Minam Nikunu number 1 oh then I do Jamadi Mame. I heard one police gentleman saying, sir, Uncle who say a becher military phone car, if you be shack and take a cab, you are a chino. So, yeah, a chino argument about it was the mission be a chino. Anyway, we share a year you can tanker insure long vehicle now. It is a vehicle, yeah, be outdoor. We've started sending all proposals to government. Yeah, per se. Krobia Ushaya, Krobia Baibiano, Chrono Ewo Shaya, or Mampanino etinemu. Sa Shan or Mampanino tremono, a Shaya or Moye Ewo Chronoso, or Modo Monster a year and as or more assembly. Into a share a cantanka insura, ye wahaya. A vehicle bia, it is going to be fully bulletproof, bomb-proof as well. Adebia Wakanumbia, and a security man or tea, a VIP no and channel, or accessible to a rifle and any on one casane pistol and so on. As at the same time, vehicle no, we are going to keep the blood group and the blood type of president and as a mampanyi krono and as a otitiru no betna a shane muno. In the case of anything, so mo kwana BBC a kwan so maybe a tio cano and as a BBC bia accident now he's starting to lose blood. Aye nipa no otin and chain will be a guard no on make channel. When I first obey to me administer an infusion, Ama Omanpanino. Say BBC, maybe will be rolling car over Ekokoto in Shumwa. This vehicle can survive underwater for close to bare 4 weeks. Say, Asieno Enina, a well covered and well prepared and well done. Aside ASR Adieno, this is an official vehicle. Apostle Dr. Emeritus Kristo Asafo, ye we kane edema se ono enyusu. We would want to see the president of the land sit in this vehicle. Say, the military will come and tell us, okay, the president needs this specification. We are capable and more than capable. Say, but me share sign money now. Near to my year, I'm on Mampanino, Sebio, Neho buying ball, let me call and kind at Yamaye. And then we been see and non Chester Sebio, a buying ball, and Yadibia, here. It is very important. Security, I respect the men in uniform, but any way to make those people or Majumana or more air no for amomo into guard no thing channel, we are protecting the guard for him to also protect his VIP. We are protecting the OT and Nimuno for him to also protect on VIP. The car na wo honum say no emu na well enforced. And say ekọ na edania enya dia car no emu betumi ebu akomu ya enforce roof ni na ne esro no to make sure say ade bia eboa eban bo ema se bi o mampanyi ehotono no we kantanka inhyrai ebetumi edisa edwuma no ebia ewo ho all the yefane saying yato was special Kevlar ebi tie ni mu se wo de se bi o kan ne kona eteki fire na se tio ebo tie ni ma ebetumi arane at least 80 to 100 kilometers and sana ejina entene meda kantanka inhyra edi akire atitiriwo ne nipa eba ha anyina medamu namase. I'm still here. I thought by now I would have gone off stage. I'm on Bremi. In my Bremi home. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, and me share most of our social media platforms. among for air can once them say, I was saying, Kiama Casano, Aye Sebio, Ya Tree Casa. And so presentation, Uncle Fono Yewano, may kind of tree on her, Aji Kumohine, Efa Naban, Ebumi Trim, I was staging so. Ladies and gentlemen, you've seen a lot today about the vision that has driven us to this point in 2020. You've been taken through the dream of one man who has sought to prove that Africa is not war, conflict, and corruption alone. As popularized, Africa is genius too. Africa is capable. The dream lives on in the Kantanka brand and will always remain so. We are grateful to the founder of Kristo Asafo, Apostle Emeritus Kristo Asafo Kantanka, for kick-starting such a daring enterprise. The dream is now a household name, gathering more critics and admirers every year. We have come from obscurity to feeling the weight of responsibility in the spotlight and public court. This begs the question of the way forward as the journey from 1980 till now has been focused on transformational mindset of the black man or the African. This has been our main reason for building prototypes over the past 40 years. This is to emphasize our concept of transformational mindset of possibilities of the black man and provide specification for a real working system. Inasmuch as some people believe that our prototypes were absurd regarding their purpose in terms of usage, we also believe that we have achieved our purpose for building them. Internet medisa akwanyai ebehia ebeka ade ho asem. Empempi ye ba na ebehia ewo yedwumadi ase a. Nyoma ye no ebi eye nyoma ne commercialization no ebeye ye free ha koye na no ekodwa so ama yakọ akokoton. Ebi wo ho so a ye dachi ade ntina sebio ye di sa edwuma no. Enti bibi wo ha anase hyen bi wo ha anase edwumadi bi wo ha eba beda na di wo ha. Na ne botaye pa etechi ne se eye prototype a ebia mfie bese mienu eda anim mfie bese miensa eda yanim ne ho sikasem a ekosoro enti no ewo se ye to ye boase ne ye pe ho sika ene ho nimdie eyie na se ba abonten a nipa ensaka na omu yusu a sebesebio yankoton adeboni amfama nipa. In our definition of a transformational mindset, it begins with the belief that one can achieve anything that one sets one's mind to. We are proud to have come thus far in such a quest. Yet, there is even more to do in the use of science to build a better country, continent, and world. No year has emphasized the theme of this year's program than 2020, positioning the church in nation building, solving societal problems through religion, science, and technology. The bia masima make can say asori eya ade bia sebio nipa koho ekonya mfaso nipa no enya eya de bebre obi wo ho no masebio wo de eha na efi ne fie de ba okoduru asori a entete ne kasa ne hwefo anase ne sofo ekache ne ma na adwene etimba efom yen ye de yesom eya nyame a ye Christianity no eya practical Christianity. Sorry them, no disrespect to any religion or obia debuha, but we don't go to church every single day, spend 24/7 there, and do nothing. We make sure say nipa na oba asori no, so oba aba betua sikampo asori a okono e wose ye pe nimdie bi ene nsan wadwuma bi e betumi aboa no. No don so hu say sebio esom no anya sika enko na eyemmoa sebio nipa no ede bo no ankasa ne ho. The emergence of COVID-19 has tested the limits of everything from faith to business, politics, and everyday living. Many were worried, and rightfully so, for the fear of possible happenings if the pandemic had hit Ghana and Africa harder, which was true. Afinisi mo corona eba Ghana. Obi ono wa habia ntumi nka say we had cases esi e wo Italy. Yehu de see e wo London, yehu de see wo America, And we know about how well they are versed when it comes to say equipment say they share nipa ho ban. So share even ventilators or more ewa manone now share the yenye wa ha no ma yendu ba bia ntina eyade na ehu ewo mu. Would we have stood a chance with our tech resources and research facilities? Had we invested enough into health data, viral infection, and protection facilities, science to fortify us against the unexpected, and technology for a rainy day? We all know the answer. Slowly, our old school perception of crowds and interactions gave way to virtual possibilities. Where obi oko asori dem na wakache sofo say sofo bompai na meduma enkoso na nipa no oyefu na daka enti more or less or bompai say nipa nwu na meduma nye den enkoso. For COVID-19 by it opened a lot of avenues for people who are very well versed in tech to do all kind of virtual possibilities. The role of thermometer guns, phones, COVID-19 test equipment outweighed political rallies and many others. Technology, the message Apostle Asafo and the Kantanka brand had preached for close to 40 years, was relied on to save and sustain lives. Through tireless research, innovation, some Ghanaians came up with few locally made innovations to combat the coronavirus without any external help whatsoever. Examples include the solar-powered hand-washing machine made by Richard Quartain and David Osei, and the hand-washing machine by Kumasi Technical University. This proves, as we've said all along, that Ghana and Africa has a vast pool of geniuses. They only need the right support, especially from government. For us at Kantanka, we share in common principle the quote, "Life begins at 40," and we cannot wait to share that future with you. A future where limited conflict and terrorism in the continent exist because security personnel are well equipped with necessary weapons for peace. A future where modern weapons meet modern challenges. A future where the girl child in Chibok can safely go to school and feel safe without risk of kidnapping. A future with less poverty and unemployment as we expand our brand and help put money in the pockets of younger men and women working to make the African dream come true. That future has less time for superstitious thinking. That future provides cure and treatment for all metabolic and infectious diseases. As I said earlier on, yes, somono, and yet a somo, yes, so say we before na ayo. Imagine going to the market to sell something. Now, koyeno, one wabwaho, isikana udishe igano, one kasa word disikano. You go back to your reverend minister, your pastor, and tell the person, say, nyame amwame, ntimbeye akonche, mbebo empire. We don't believe in such things. We believe in waking up in the morning very early. We believe in setting your mind right. Ye gidi se sebio usi wadwin pi. Se obetumi ayade na o share won so discipline, you can do it. That future provides food security as the well-tested and researched Kantanka organic fertilizers, pesticides, and more increase yield while guaranteeing food safety. The future is clean. It has fresh air as green energy becomes a reality. This is the kind of future we are committed to beyond 40. The vision of problem-solving technology is one we have prepared for quite a long time. With the help of government, we hope to aggressively pursue. Ladies and gentlemen, we forbid the thought from happening, but the next time a COVID-19 comes around, we should be ready. It might not be as graceful as now. That is the whole conception moving forward. The vision is to build a self-sustaining tech research hub in the sub-region, responsive to the daily problems and societal challenges that may rise. The future beyond 2020 demands that Ghana and Africa fortify ourselves in programming and coding
artificial intelligence, robotics, green energy, plastic technology, safer and faster transport systems, smart sanitization, and efficient waste management system, but most importantly, the use of machines to make life easier. This has been the point all along. These are areas we intend to explore to better our lives. It is admittedly ambitious, but we are committed to see it through. We have proven our capabilities after all. This future is possible. It can be done. We extend an invitation hand to all institutions, especially the universities, polytechnics, technical, and vocational institutions who are willing to collaborate with us, especially in the areas of research. We applaud the government for all previous attempts and urge them to do more. We believe the AU Agenda 2063 is laudable, yet highly impractical if we are not lent a hand in building technology giants of the continent. We would be grateful to see the African Union take action to build the Africa we all want, and Kantanka is ready to join forces. From 2021, the exhibition, as we all know, shall be branded the Kantanka Ghana Tech Expo. It will be open for all inventors across the continent who are interested in the use of technology to solve Africa's challenges. We will be glad to welcome and applaud talents such as Kevin Odate, who built an amazing car out of scrap. Such young boys as well as girls already live in the future we envision. While the brand continues to pursue commercial production of Kantanka vehicles that will see cheaper prices for common usage, we intend veering into sale of other products such as the agricultural implement and medicines in the coming years. The journey from possibilities to do more usefulness in tech begins today. We appreciate your support so far and count on you to do more. Thank you, everyone, and welcome to the future.
Is indeed bright.
Professor John Owusu, Japan, Vice Chancellor, University for Health and Allied Sciences. I am Madinina Professor Emeritus Apostle Kristo Asafo, founder of the Kristo Asafo Mission of Ghana and our main celebrant. Nana Kristo Asafo Kantanka Kufuna, leader, Kristo Asafo Mission of Ghana, our host for this exhibition. Commanders and officers from the Armed Forces of Ghana, representatives from state ministries, departments and agencies, clerics, celebrants, invited guests, Professor Entwidanso, distinguished members of the media, ladies and gentlemen. And then a dark titru ewo Papa Me dia me friend papa. Me wo fa no preko pe. We aduana piesie. Me friend papa preko pe. We say me ni san ye no wa kire bebre. Na ene dwumadie ya ye hu yi. Eye dwumadie a ebro ebibi man entias yeso. Me kai se misua no 80s no na se fuyo ni ade ya mfudie ni ade a na woyeye na Jackson Park Jubilee Park as you see a friend Jubilee Park no eho na afibia yani na okone se de nuani si sum ho Ghana kura ebi beka odi kwama no ni aye che kura ebi beka nti me kwa na ko gina ho na me hwe papa yi se de o si kasa se de wo toto ni nsa se de wo ka ne kasa ba ko a na otimi ka pa enne eye mi de se MC no ana akofuna kan ye se wo ye bibini a enkyere se wadwe ni etuntuma na bibre asem nemu bibifo ana oye bibini a de broni timi ye no okura otimi ye e ma no ebroso etimi gina wa na mehwe papa yi no kasa me say me pese da chi bia me ni papa yi etimi dinkita hodie aye na me de ti hai enti agoye se me so me da yeso abam me da yeso abam pa me ne ni san ye me di akonwa mfie be nsia ni am ni papa yi san ye wa kire me niam bebre afutu ni niam wa kire me ye enti ne me ba ye mani age mani aso pa di amahu no mani aso titu hwe efidi a wa ye o se aban so pe kwan bi so no timi boa nim se aban boa de na emum o se aban kwan bia aban betimi anfa so no aboa into research ni ade oni ne be collaborate say de na professors MC unya forum omu kase say de ikita wudi omu di ye no e che se o se aban etimi boa aban boa yanya bibiman yeso betimi aye ya ade ye hu se panie ni a ye hu se enie no eye den na be ye panie na de ma be ne keka bo mu a etimi be ye panie enti oya kora na so fa panie na obisa na obetimi a kire mo de kind of prototype no otimi kire mo ma ne ba bisi su pepepe emi hu enti a ade ye frɛ ne panie ana ye frɛ no bibi sa enti de mesra ban ya ne sɛ aban enkoso nso na sene aban enkoso empatna oni ni nkabom na kasi amaye ebi 50,000 ni 40,000 ni ade high purchase ni ade nyina aban timi edun djuma teacher for any nurse for ni djuma bebre ho a wo Ghana sa kasi nyina no aban rema na bibia timi awie kama ama omususu atimi anya bi ama bibia timi akoso ama ya bo papa chi dom am ya ta na ti amu se adwuma wo ye no ya ni so ya se ye kwa ya ni so enti eneme ni kumoma ba ya be wo papa abaso e woni adwuma pa wodi ma Ghana man ene sebe dwumadie a ewo hoyi woni minua pani am be di na de asumadu sechi bere ma asumadu sechi no eye ba ko ne eya yonkufa pa odu am pa onum nyina na o yasumnya he no na enam ni ade na ohwe mihia papa no ka kwan a ofa so ni be ma hia ye Any Koma Mudidi any day. I saw in Casafa Pim no so ne be free kumu. Ne be free kumu pa. Ne be free kumu. As is ya, sorry no Ginawa. As I see a Serbia, or Muya sorry was no. Plot no, media more Museo or Muya sorry no, I was so. Nafi, you saw here in food any a day and food or more any a day. Nina Kumu and a papa, humanity be free ya, a debay. What tell me so, Diana this year ampa. Inti the mechanism of papa, Memoiku, Miss Rain in Cherry Mount. Quatentian or the womb. Yansa when you and Coson Shrine and Coson Tre, Nabi be mine and Tranco be mine, Nabi be a intimi and ye pay. Mimo official passo so content in Mount. Madame Massy, Damujana Massy.
I want to recognize and stand on all existing protocols. Nana, any Apostle Asafo, any penny phone na Michiamo Medini di Mamo. Police High Command, I think represented by DCOP, any military high command also. Betucha Mamo. Miemo Mijina mi barracks, inti. Minim barracks near Manoka Krakra. But the theme for this afternoon's reflection is positioning the church in nation building, solving societal problems through religion, science, and technology. In the early years of the church, the relationship between the church and science and technology was much, much more cohesive than we have today. Indeed, if you do a simple search on Google, as many of you do these days, you will find out that a lot of the things that happen as far as scientific development and innovations are concerned emerge from church leaders or people who were very devout Christians. If you read about some of the things that took place and are documented in the Vatican Observatory, you find out that this is truly the case, and they were very devout Christians. Many of the scientists were devout Christians. And they believed that God revealed knowledge to them through his own will and wisdom. Inti na chese onyankopon enedi nimdie ma enu nti no se wo ye obi a udi onyankopon krofo anim anase wo ye asore ba onyankopon timi yi ne ho adi akire wo wakwan bebre so ma wutimi ebeye eniema a esronko edema oman ni nyina ma obi anya ho emfaso. And that has been the basis of development in Europe and Americas that we all look up to today. So I believe that in the dispensation that we find ourselves, it is very unfortunate that many scientists now claim to be atheists, or they think that because of science, there is no God. I think it's very unfortunate, because the more you study science, the more you get knowledge, the more you realize that there is a God somewhere. There is a more powerful being somewhere, and that the knowledge that we have is limited, and that it is only what he chooses to reveal to us that we see. So somebody said research is going to search again. Research. So you go and search again the things that already exist. So when we find it, we say we have discovered something. There's something that existed that we found. But maybe in the context of the church, we will say that it is something that God has given us opportunity also to see. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. And you know, baby ayedru I say yema womo a womu di anim na ye hwe se ne womo ye wa sorry ahoro mu ewo ye mpanimfo a womu di anim wa sorry ahoro mu no ewo se ye tenase ne ebisa ye ho say what is really going on and why have we deviated from this responsibility? I think we should see the church as an agent of development. Nti Kristo Asafo. Sene nanaka no me mofra se nyina me hu Kristo Asafo na da bia papa e ko che aduane e wo hospital prison ene an ma bia horo bebre na mbisam se na aduane a papa che da be na bi bedru me so. But mejidi se adwuma a oyeye no oye ni nyame adwuma nti ne nyina kakra onyankopon de aboa yen na o se yen so yenya suahu se ne nyankopon de ato yen sam bia no yen so e o se yenya bi na ye de che. The goal is to support government's efforts. Nti no se onyankopon boa yen na yenya nimde na oto yen sam kakra. As a church, we also have to support government's efforts. So I see what Kristo Asafo is doing as something that is very relevant in terms of supporting government's efforts. And also to facilitate evangelism. In the video that we saw, he talked about his evangelistic work. His goal was to bring Christ to his nation. But in so doing, he also ensured that he did the right thing by providing the basic needs of the community. Asori ahoro bebre aye enyuma bebre wo yeman mu. Enim se school a edi nim wo many places in this country. Asori na te sa school. Mi school mi no amiko nyina Asori school. Ni dika me ko St. Aquinas osu. Na mfi ona me call Presbyterian Boys Secondary School and also press before ni see omwe conference pem enim say Methodist for just a school edin ko anim nyina asori no ni see nti no asori no ayebi amaye man hospitals ahoro a ewo oman mu nyina Catholic Church, the Presby Church, they've done so much in supporting the work of the church and the work of the state. But baby ayedru, we need to sit back, reorganize, and refocus, especially in this age of technology that we are looking at. Intino near Kristo Asafo ewo Ghana ha by way of technology and the development of this nation is something that is worthy of emulation. We all need to sit back and ask ourselves, how can we support this? When you go into the tertiary education landscape now, they say private sector, ubia peso boa tertiary education. Prof. Otiano Obeka Chira say, Mbembebre no the private sector no could be tertiary education bia. Ade a yechre human resource, logistics management. And I didn't be marketing. Why any finance? I didn't know about marketing. Logistics ben now manage. We are all shying away from investing in science and technology because science and technology education is very expensive. Opesa human resource, unya library bina unya computer menu mi SBC onuma enwa no. Na se opesa ochre technology, then the things that Kristo Asafo is doing becomes very relevant. So we need to support and invest in technology. We need government to take the lead in putting in resources in the development of this nation. Kristo Asafo is showing the lead. The churches who are also developing tertiary educational institutions should also follow suit and invest in technology, which even though is more expensive, ends up being more beneficial. So at this time, I want to commend the leadership of Kristo Asafo for its holistic developmental agenda, and especially for their interest in science and technology, and their systematic refocusing to ensure that Ghana becomes number one in Africa. So I want to commend you for all the good work that you are doing. So this is the time that we expect government to provide real support for Kristo Asafo and other institutions that are doing similar things. Support can come in the form of procuring the goods that we produce here. I think the last time I heard that government had procured some of your vehicles. I think they could do more. And also give you tax breaks and things like that. Because by so doing, we create more jobs and employ our people, and then our people in the long run benefit from this whole process. My colleagues from University of Ghana and Agric Technical University have already spoken about the need for us to collaborate as scientists with people like you. Our doors are open. We are very willing to collaborate with you and to ensure that at the end of it all, it is Ghana that benefits. Because if we do so, the church will become a tool for emancipation. And on that note, I want to thank you all so much, and especially for the leadership of Kristo Asafo, for honoring me with the chairmanship of today's function. I pray that the Lord himself will bless you in all your doings and all your dealings, that the Lord himself will make his face to shine upon you and be gracious unto you, and lift up the light of his countenance upon you and give you his peace, even now and forevermore. Thank you so much.
Oh, okay. Mpempi no adia mi beye ebeye omo mi no mo ye adwuma bi wan kakra. I'm a very nice person, but when I'm working, because of my training in America with small of this military background thing, I am a penman show. Young or no, Tam, so, sir, yes or no. There's this gentleman, Owaha. I remember I said the first time I'm in case 5, Sabo na black and white, no. Ona oto edemame. My first water pistol that I also had. First time I call, Sebio Sinibia, Semi Koshe, Sini. Or no, Nibia and America tonight, a share. Baby, I ne, Jumedia bedru in fear dia 9 ye. Eja, Adwene, Eja San Wajuma. Nanso, oni nipa, and a yesa, Ejumano. Oni nipa, or the Adwene bar, a nipa and a sumu. Yem fa we into a yankan we boom, yen say, a nipa and a tenansa, a well day. A nipa and a ye a buano, Emma baby, and sebi you, a didn't know Ababidruno. Nanipa no more dawson. A fee a year, end of year group awards party. A bet wanna be brina ewoho. Nanso a branty idea. A jashe, a jumayase, ewo dakumai. Se cantonment to baby. Omudi fi ho, edi ba dakumai. Omudi fi dakumai, ejine mwa, edi ba taifa. Ejmani free taifa. Omujine mwa, amanfo seren, amanfo dina temanfo kansem, amambemu embuda. Sebio, oni krona mekana simi, owe busia, owe anoana ononso eshe omo. Owe nipa anomo su dinechi, na odi sebio, papa bia, ono, omojune say, adio ode baye, bota ode baye, omunyan humbiwe, bibi maimu hada. So they felt say, not wasting the time. Awana bembu, odi yachire, wampaba. Ene, mijina hanama, eye kantanka K71, ye 2020 model. Ene, buemu adia, eka ho, me amin tudini. Me, jinam papa, minu anoma nemu. Abusuafo anemu nipa wa ha nyina asebi omo wodo ene ntiase e de makantanka dwumadie efre eba stage so we de me da sha manfo ni eye master kwasi agei owa ha mu nyina momfa ensembo enhia no afi menya sure se ni beda so se BBC ebe ma no cause menini twa so bebre wo adwumadie eye kantanka shen kantanka inshira no ade bi ewu bia no in terms of interior Abranti and for the past 40 years or shasiye what electronics omo no mo ye Verec machines na ewo ho no Verec nso mo ye 1984 na me amegina ha kra na ye nwo me afiri me ka che ne se me firi show na se pape me sheda master me be du pape ma me di be du no na onim de me ba be ye no ene yemfa ensembo enhia eye master kwasi eje master yi max no omo hwe wanim o yusu football age enti no me hwe se ni mfia nkasa de eye mfia na 7 de mfansi o ensa na makoka be foforo enti pamocho mu na monfa ensembo enhia master kwasi eje. He is the first person in Obaye and in Papa ebeye adwuma or the first person na adwumade ne sha se nyina no wagina mua besi sam pempenso yi nyame nkoso na onhyira no omo na hoden omo na nyinche no mbo ne ho ban eye ene masa K71 no ekọ edema o nyame nhyira o
I am a nike bebre se mabigina ha nyini pe nyina be nyane sa asede edi kan ekoma madie nyina hade enkabrofo but me say he is my everything ubuni ka say everything a chesi ni bibia Apostle Dr. Emeritus Kristo Asafo enye ahunemu ade nkwa na oye mame o mame ahoden soronko a me de ye adwuma mi gya mi momi mfie so no onim but adwuma amrante e beye no na daro metime ye na ni ntia mi gina ha me da so gina chi no enya me mepe oye ono na ope se mi medi na chi nti na medi na chi nti me da na se bebre MC ni print me nkasa bebre de atusu mienu nso ma koma na na kofra se ono nso ba nso wanya ho abotre because adwuma no yenim eni yesua na meka apostle de kra de a be wa werho enyema ya se no ansa ne ye beduru ha no enye ne maketo a ebri ni nti ade achi a me de na se bebre na na kofra nso me da ase ade achi a me da ase
yo master edase yo obefa wakonya ya share adwumade na ase no me boso se eye ene I think me general manager ebe di kan ebe titi ho kakra ene ya wo eye achede kese bi a migina group no nim papa anemu brigadier general se yeko abonten a ene ya wo kantanka omama 2020-2021 pick up a no military style, military grade, military everything that is going to Ghana Armed Forces. Ye di si wo so nti ekọ abontia e be hand over key no and bibia e dem ma. No bibia obaye enso ase ye hwe machi a car no ana esi wonom no me kai say omol ko ho me besuma me mpanyifo ko ho ekodi djuma bi. Ombaye no mo de picture ne kire me. Me hwe picture no so keke. Me nim papa di ho nkomo. No one man I'm sending Professor Nchidanso Vladimir message say car my you knows oh how and I'm sending you the pictures. It means at Kantanka we are capable. Thank you everyone for coming. Thank you.
Yo Madam na masi sir ya tomu saframu if you say ade nyame de ma abibifo no eso na wo ana wonye ohuntum ana watena se ama obi atena ne krom no atwerɛ no ma de abrewo ntoken kan na wote ase na tumi kan kasa apotogum rogum a ye bua nsama o so woni ne papa me ha menye sa no ma no ntum de megitum ni se ye mienhwe ye nakanya enyankoso ye ni a ombeto ye wa ha no omka chese ye ne etoso miensa ye etoso miensa na so apreso omo kasa ye third word for me say eja wajo Wo third word. Woman on ba hancher you. As I say, Uhumia. February 3rd, no. Be siam o me kraso. Na obetin sama mekatire wo. Enti nyame sheda de me ba ha se me mekonyi abibiban. So hwemfoni na de nkofo bi de yi me ne anso mampa ba. Eduro se se ekotwe kokko no. Me ne me dom. A yekọ ebunu no. Ya so a empim enkono yekọ fiada me da kosiara. Ye wi esa ba to biase. Ahon so de so aye anakra de aburu mani mudo. Ana ma o mugidigidi a o mo ye ane no ma o mo de ye ebrase. De me agede okay ya me na ne adwojo mbisa no anso anse me mpa aba ma ba mu ye se bo Yesu asenduam na de dufu keka na ayede enti me ye no sa enti metumi aya na me kasa bebrebe no aya na me mpe me ba pe me so de kohwe na akɔhwɛ a na wate aseɛ na mmua ya wo so de ma me no na de ama me enti na mba ha meti ha din ana me wo me bayi me ne kosua a ewiem hyenka ɛwɔ abrokyire ɔbaa na agyae na me sɛ hey yɛn ka wiebu trotro ne nyame bɔyɛ sɛ nneɛma yɛ bibifoɔ mo ani nyo kasa ho be Germany be keka brofo no a no de mi makodu ansa na me na ha ma ya tete kwa no ka wo na fe ofi asese otie mi a kopem sa we no ana magya ni nyina hye ne nsa enti de mo ko hwei memenem na dwene na mum mama ono na dwene no kwan se nkofo hoahoa no enti me da munyina mo sese Kristo Asafo akofana ya no ho ase ka kofana am se so ni maduanafo a obehu de ete aduanafo no a efresum nya no ka behu akofana atese wa kwasrafo mu ne yaka obi a okon pa panini enti ene me mawro mata de na hye no ne mu ye wie weni esa akohye mu a ade foforo na ebe no oye nyina no na me cheche no koje afesia ya betrasia kase ona ayeye me de mu nyam ma me ba no anyi maniwu woni ho a ona be sore no so ni ho a no so de ache ne ba na sore na aye awon to so ye ntimi nkoyete se kane no a yete aduro pusa na de aka de ahye moto mu no ye de be ye wi ane ato atwe me de menye sa nti de munyam ase monkobo mo ni akonhoma na ono anso be de animu acheche mu nyina na oye sa wi a se bibi papa bi oho na so obaka firi wakoma mu amame a no wakama me de mo ase ya mamu nyina makwa aba afinsi apa
What about the COVID-19 by looking at that anything as if young part for the 19 group of money they are emblem. We can hand washing in it. Remember here, where I bet you display no views, I the same area. Very good for having your
Like I said, it's 0.8 liter.
And then we're going for between the ranges of 40, 45, 42, 45,000. Depending, normally all the prices vary depending on spec compared to but we get the base price that we bought here for maximum 45,000. There's a payment plan as well. If we don't want to start, you can make a deposit of 10,000 Ghana. But now, government has been good to us and has given us our tax holiday. So we are not paying to the car anymore. So by now, we are the car for what we take the payment plan for 1 year. Oh, yeah. This is the reason why people ask why we make such vehicles. We have different clientele. We have different cars. People want to buy cars. Except your car, which is a year, every month, it's like a product. The rest of the car, a body man, 0.86. When you're a car, who do you own for the car? And actually, of a lottery, of a Serbia, of a life. I know we are the same. But who buy these cars? This is a brand or a line of work. This we see here, Kantanka or Mama double cabin pickup. We call for your 2 types. You want a manual and you want a automatic. Automatic we call for 190,000. Manual also call for 170,000. As I said, yes, your payment plans are once you pay something down, not necessarily 50%. Say 50% that means the client is not over the call again. So you will be able to say the more you go to FPR, you go for the 50%. Yes, that kind of amount. The vendor you don't want to be here or less, want to be here, then we get or we save the 50% of the business so that at least we cut our losses when anything goes wrong. And now, the ultimate for today's event. So, I looked at the picture that was sent to me, and I told myself, when you're not in your head, I am. You could do it. On behalf of the Kantanka group of companies, on behalf of my father, the entire Kristo Asafo nation of Ghana, we hand over to you brand new keys and a brand new pickup Kantanka for Mama military vehicle spec to Brigadier General on behalf of the Ghana Armed Forces. We will continue with the discussion. Almost a presentation. You can have a holistic living. no, and yes, we are yeah, research so many things. So share idea what have and the body who don't body food, now one that's a good camera, the good. So the good no one that's a media for is missing. And never call and as a body and I didn't ever say then me a way of making cocoa and as a body Gary. So share the privacy here to have a look at it. And yet, tell you body and I know. Say Gary and then the crowd. And yet, one day, Yasaye, my leg, and two Gary. You see, I can punch one year Gary. The device is so many means and ways to get military. You're 7 that can say. And then and so I get the same Gary to share 400 say, who young Gary at the water.
And I'm dancing. Some and your man were here. Emeritus Professor Apostle Kristo Asafo. That dey be our oil no 15 say a. Obaka say ya gudi na nsusu. Ebedru ba bi no hu say ade na di mu. Enti say okay bayire aye dia aye gari akwan fa so kire na ukraini na emu odin. Woyam a na aye totrotro enso o kire ya ma yetimi aye me na dia aye gari. Asesi ampanifo o ma bani na. O se obia ye to sa frɛ na o wa ha bia no. Yɛnkyɛ wɛnim nyinaa mfa mɔm na obi ankɔsɔhwɛ na wɔsɔhwɛ ne sɛ ɛsɛ ode mu a na aba ne nkyɛn na afei dodoɔ a wohia no na ɔne ne baa na na Kristo Asafo akofena dodoɔ bi a wohia na ɔmo nso apresente de ama ɔnti sɛ wohwɛ a yɛwɔ bayerɛ deɛ yɛwɔ bɔdeɛ deɛ yɛwɔ mɛnkɛn deɛ yɛwɔ santom deɛ ɛde yɛhyɛ daa yɛ bankye ankasa ne deɛ obi anim sɛ ɛno so yɛde yɛ gare ne yɛde aka ho ama wahu sɛ nsonsoneɛ nna ɛmu biara mu. Eti we ya won ade se free se odman ko ba de ye na nanom ahemfo mpanifo a di kan akọ ne omo ayi no obi abetimi e di adanse se ye mfa abode enye garida ene ye mfa bayire enye garida ye mfa menka enye garida ene ye mfa santum so enye garida ade se Emeritus Professor Apostle Kristo Asafo ene ono ane ba na Kristo Asafo akofuna enim de kwan so ene o mama ene wo hu we ndi ye di we si asese ka obi di ne ho atini se obeya the chance you are, is you are, well, person, no, how person, you are. One person didn't bring the big man, the making so, Ewaha, Naka, what did be, and San Kawako, now, Wankasa, where they are dancing, and so see and San Fabi, and Famamunamu Banko. It is a Mukona Mom could do fee, Naka, a person we are with you, and we are now with the anafe, Waban in chain, now Abba, the body nesting is on chain, now for home come on, when you are muddy, yeah, are so full. The case any na e o mo ye do ma se
we are the commercial side of the farm. See, I can talk about so called where the Katanga is big. You can get pure organic lettuce, you can get pure organic carrots, pure organic pepper, pure organic tomatoes, garden eggs. Cabbage, I think very few companies now, we have bees organic. This time of farm, bees on the home. We are always called certain numbers. The number now is so. The map, everyone, Dr. Asafo, the base. So member on our attention, Nancy, Ewa. That is for malaria, that is platinum. These are new products coming for renal generation. We now in a fire so chronic disease, we have evidence to prove that all five is the way I think my kidney disease are taking of when there are new regenerates. Very, very impressive for Katanga. This is also for renal stones, who are renal stones, the ureter, this is what this is put approach. Now, people are in the new range of drugs that can every piece. Now, we call them the distillate. my extracting the bioactive compounds now and walk it through. We are able to prostate very, very good for benign prostatic hyperplasia and prostate enlargement. So here we have for 35 ovary. We advise say you don't wait for you to get your prostate enlarged. Prophylactical prevention, you can be taking this prostate. This is a wonderful drug as well. This we call Lumilate. We actually say the blood for viral conditions, for being viral hepatitis. And get the far improvement continuously. We have labs to show reduction in liver enzymes a year abnormal. Minimum that's if you other viral conditions, so COVID-19 prevention, not for cure per se. It's prevention. As a new booster, you can take this everyone now to the new booster. Canada is using other medicine for hypertension, diabetes, the cancers with organic food combination. These are some of the range of products that we mentioned.
Thank you so much, Dr. Asafo. Our choice is Baha. I Kantanka Ijra. I want us to take a tour, a 360 tour of the vehicle. It's Kana in the Kabuhai. The Baha the new lights, has a very beautiful view. All our vehicles are subject to personal customizations. As I said, we made a personal vehicle of the old bank. Now, we now have a interior of we want to look, but we want to make them go much more. From the now, and then I feel again now. We are one of the things that I feel about what we intend to do in the future. This is an incubator at Kolaya. We won't be anyone here. This very and I just select and this, the natural period is that 18 to 21 weeks. And we have a different 1 year. And so, the first 1 week. And our new event is remote control stabilizer. Electrical appliance this one we have the this one depends on the appliance that I use. And if you want to check it
Moving on. There was sooner, and so in case you have the same you didn't know what the tree now the bucket one. Now the one now the and then you have tree in bucket in the ura and here we in one extra. All you have to do is to sit in this thing for maybe 30 minutes or 20 minutes. As long as I will be to me, I say, you know, send a wiki to say, I will know, ever you know. Okay, we agree. There are so many ways of starting the vehicles. And they all fingerprint, and they all push to start. But I'll have Selassie demonstrate the new ways or the new form of starting the vehicle. And so, Selassie.
And I'm Pacho. Apostle, MIA prototype way for ignition of engine way of a key system. Your car's maintenance or my design way without key, and one is a Ubeton printing, not a sparky engine. Membra, but demonstrate senior SCA Jumania share, we a diesel engine, baton printing.
Come on, nice job.
Prototype of it. We did Obia Bitini as a system and our chair process where we for registered people. Indeed, one thing about waiting said, what's not seat in one and the mouth notification. Yeah, I would say, oh yeah, the young say, Matana system.
Personal and you want to go faster for a full automated assembly planter, you can use this as well to wear Kantanka robot and as a robotic boarding machine. So it is imagining say I already back you move to a different one. Maybe I was say a different. Na akọkọsọ Tana machine way here. It will be a far car levels now from the top of the vehicle to down of the vehicle, the down bottom of the vehicle. Maybe I will be in the world now. That is what this one does. For the past 40 years of technological exhibitions we a roofing house machine all these machines were made about almost 20 years ago, but they are still functional. The reason why I'm here is that roofing machines here, actually when we enter into production of such machines, they will create jobs, they will create revenue for people. People on with this car that we need in one of the top area and I see it here, even an A track on as is displayed over the B track. yeah, this is a we have a very good power system. And I'm not eventually any number of plates. We are the first SUV. Yeah. More like a more group of companies. These are the vehicles This is the first electric vehicle as it was displayed on the screen. You friend of Kambu. The shape of Kana as a Akolebi Kambu or you friend of Kambu. And when the first electric vehicle the testify and say, you go to me and ask you to me. And people were asking for the benefit out Tesla AB or you see amount 4 ton, but we needed to make sure say you're perfectly making any BBA and Sana about thing. When so the first car, saloon car, Papa, 1998. The guys almost say the first car on here will be asking who 2 years connection. We first one on here, the 2 year connection. And until ya could do BBA, I was said it do. And I have preserved can say we am passion can to share. Even there's a lot of problem about or even grown, and of course the car has not been touched since 1998. Internet, the grand finale, why we are here today, is the Kantanka Akofna. And there, Major Namuina Moshu. This is the Kantanka Akofna. This is the future of our luxury vehicles. This car was made in 3 months, handmade. This car was made in 3 months, handmade. The stitching, the interior was done by one gentleman called Bambafu. On the interior on the architects of mobile and that's another age, 31. There was a group of young guys that we assembled, and I am 2 years, it's a sports vehicle. It deals with speed. And what I gave every sports vehicle, as I said, and I said, we are between Akosaka. We have models that we are we have models that we are at all. And this Kantanka Kofla, which I named for myself, is a Kantanka luxury sports. It's in the Namasi. I mean, because we are a channel. Thank you.